tonight as soon as we let everybody in. But anyway, so I'm April Wagner, and I'm super excited that you're here tonight. That's an interesting and amazing discovery to be able to share with you. And so excited that you're all here. You know, this is an industry that my husband and I, we've actually been in for almost 30 years. I guess that makes me a little bit older than I want to be, but we've been in this industry for almost 30 years, and it's been exciting industry. The first 25 we spent with a traditional supplement company, meaning that, you know, they were, you know, multivitamin, you know, vitamin C's and D's and, you know, just your typical supplements, meaning we were supplementing. But today we're actually going to talk about something called activation, which is pretty exciting. And I find most people are not familiar with it. I'm sorry, I'm still adding more people in. Okay. Okay, so again, we're going to talk about the difference between supplementation, which, you know, again, as a recap, is just the difference between the multivitamin, vitamin D's and B's you may be taking, supplementing something to your body, as opposed to what we're going to talk about tonight are activators. And so this is a discovery that began in a lab. And really, you know, the scientists that discovered this, you know, just wanted to know, is declining health something we must accept as part of aging? And I don't know if that's ever been a concern to you. To me, it certainly was. You know, I had two very distinct cases in my life. You know, my first was my own grandma.
We lost you, April.
Okay, got it. Okay, sorry. So anyway, you know, there were two cases in my life where this question really, you know, just is something that is of interest to me and an importance to me. You know, my own grandmother, who Bobby and I took care of for years, was in and out of nursing homes, and actually, you know, just had a horrible end to her life with, as far as, you know, being in a nursing home, feeding tubes, not knowing who I was at the end. And then my husband's grandmother actually was, you know, as far as endings, was just amazing when I think about it. You know, she had 9 children, went around her house, and she actually labeled everything. And then she sat down in a chair and she actually passed. And so I don't know if you've thought about what the end of your life was, but for me, it's always been that I want to be healthy the whole time, even more so than the thing as far as the distance. So anyway, so this physician, this scientist, he actually figured out that our bodies at a cellular level create their own antioxidants, which, you know, is something I did not know. We spent 25 years working in a traditional supplement company in which, you know, we actually brought supplements into a lot of physicians' offices. And at no point had we ever heard in the 25 years this science that our bodies can actually create their own antioxidants. And so he figured this out. He was awarded all kind of award, Elliott Crescent Award, lots of different awards for this discovery. But at that same time, he also found out that our bodies stop creating these antioxidants in our 20s. And so that's where it comes from, that we now know that aging starts in our 20s. And so he went back to the lab for a number of years. And what he actually discovered was that he can get these antioxidants, this pathway, which we call NRF2, working again, so that our body creates so many antioxidants and the health that it has to do with. And that's really what I'm going to talk about and just show a little bit more. So this pathway that I'm starting to talk about is something called NRF2, and it deals with oxidative stress. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But he realized, and what he found out, and we have so much more science to prove this, unlike, you know, the first company we went, it was supplements. And what we did a lot of times was just, you know, it was kind of somebody's opinion based on, you know, how much vitamin C to take or vitamin D or whatever. Here, this is just tons and tons of science. And this activation actually plays a huge role in our genes. And so it makes our good genes better, and it kind of turns off our bad genes. And so the term that we use is called oxidative stress. And what oxidative stress is the difference between the amount of free radicals our body creates and the amount of antioxidants we take in. And we now know, because of exercise, microwaves, pesticides, water, just stress in our life, we create a lot of these free radicals, but we don't take in enough antioxidants. And so what happens is our cells become very diseased. They get inflammation, they have disease. And you can see by the picture on the slide, our cells don't look so good after a while. Well, this scientist created a product called Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. And what it does, and again, these are all studies, this is not my opinion, actually reduces this oxidative stress by 40% in the first 30 days, which is just huge when you think about oxidative stress being, again, the precursor for all inflammation, disease, and aging in the body. And Protandim activates your body to create 1,000,000 times per second the antioxidant value. And I'll show you exactly what that equates in food in a few minutes. But even more important is it increases glutathione levels by 300%, which is our master antioxidant, if you're not familiar with that. And there are a lot of places where people spend a lot of money to go to different medical spas and doctors' offices to try to increase that glutathione, because again, we know that that master antioxidant is very, very important to keeping our bodies healthy. And because this is so exciting, there are 13 patents that prevent the duplication of this. Because again, this science, again, he was awarded all kind of the Elliott Crescent Awards, and there are more awards with the product. You can imagine every nutraceutical, every pharmaceutical company out there would love to be able to, have this product, except, we have all these patents. But what's really cool in keeping with trends, people obviously, they want to stay healthier, they want to feel better, they want to have more energy, but this is a plant-based product. And it's funny because, again, we worked with nutritional products, we worked with physicians for 25 years, and literally lots of them, we made lots and lots of money, did over 200 million in sales with that company. So we use some of these products. We use turmeric, and we had used green tea, and we had used ashwagandha individually. And so, we could have said, instead of maybe buying this supplement, this product, maybe, we just add the milk thistle and the bacopa to it and, call it a day. Well, if you decide to take 5 products instead of the 1 pill, which I don't know anybody that likes to take a lot of products, but using this one recipe, this one formulation that he has, it is 18 times more effective using his formulation than it is if we went out and tried to take 5 pills and tried to come up with that same formulation. So much so that you would need to eat on a daily basis 11 pounds of blueberries, 375 oranges, 120 tablets of vitamin C, and drink 87 glasses of red wine every day, day in, day out. Now, I kept saying for a long time I was going to figure it out. It would cost you about $700 a day to be able, if you could, ingest 11 pounds of blueberries, 375 oranges, 120 tablets of vitamin C, and 87 glasses. If you could do that, it would cost you about $700 a day. And, I don't know anybody that could actually do that day in, day out. But that's the amount of antioxidants. It's 1,000,000 times per second that the Protandim throws off. So this is super exciting. This still gets me excited every time. So for every month that you're on Protandim, and remember I said the first month reduces 40% in the first 30 days, the amount of oxidative stress. And again, that's the thing that is, causing all the inflammation, all the disease. So if I took an 80-year-old who'd been on Protandim for 8 months, a 60-year-old who'd been on Protandim for 6 months, a 40-year-old that'd been on Protandim for 4 months, and a 20-year-old, and I drew all their blood, I could not tell who was originally that of the 20-year-old. All the blood would appear to be that of a 20-year-old. So the oxidative stress is reversed that much that you just have the blood of a 20-year-old. So which for me is just, super, super exciting. There's also a study out there, the National Institute of Aging did a study where it actually extends life in male mice by 7%. This is really cool. Whether you go to PubMed.gov or you go to Google Scholar, like I said earlier, this is not our opinion anymore. PubMed.gov has 250,000 studies, over 250,000 studies on oxidative stress to date. Not that anybody would look that up, but you could look up oxidative stress and maybe any disease state you were concerned with. What's even cool is our product, Protandim, has some 30 plus studies, peer-reviewed study on PubMed that name the product directly. It's not like the ingredients of it or anything, name Protandim directly. It's been so exciting that places like, or medical schools like Harvard, Washington State, Colorado State, have done many studies on these products. So they're independent studies, they're not studies done by our company. But Washington State's study went so far as to say that the health effects of NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine, liking it to things like aspirin, penicillin, or maybe even more recently, stem cells. The second pathway that we deal with is something called mitochondria. Mitochondria is ATP, you may remember from biology. It is the energy in every cell. And we have so many mitochondria, something like the brain might have something like 8,000 mitochondria per cell in there. It's just a huge, huge amount. But the sad part is by the time we reach midlife, we've already reduced half of this. And this is something that we need for every cell, like the heart cell never stops. The heart pumps, the lungs continue to pump, brain uses a lot of this energy. So they've come out with this product called Protandim NRF1. And again, NRF1 is a pathway. And actually what it does is increases the amount of energy, ATP mitochondria we have at each cell. So it slows down the aging process. It improves sleep, cellular repair, so we can repair our cells, cardiovascular health, brain health. Again, we need a lot of this stuff to be able to keep us healthy. And you can see it's just all natural ingredients again. The last pathway of aging that we're going to talk about is called NAD. And NAD is really an amazing anti-aging product because it seems to go to your weakest link. So it does a lot of things, like it improves mental focus and concentration. It improves mood. It improves exercise endurance, exercise recovery. It boosts mental and physical energy. It helps with inflammation, cholesterol levels, libido, weight loss, vascular system. So it does so many different things. What's really cool is this product, which increases something, a protein in the cell called sirtuins. We actually get 100% activation within the first 24 hours. So that means that people actually feel this very, very quickly. And traditionally, people have gone on some extreme calorie restricted diets, maybe 400 or 600 calories a day for someone like myself. And there's some competitors out there that, you know, they really get no activation at all. But again, this has been medically studied to show that, you know, we're getting 100% activation the first 24 hours. So love to share that product. But the three of these, the three Protandim together, we get 2,100% better results. And that is actually a patent pending process now, showing that the three of them, because a lot of times people say, well, which one should I take? Well, there are three different pathways of aging, and you're going to want the benefits of all of them. But together we get 2,100% better results. So super, super exciting. We have additional products, but the thing that they all have in common is everything has this NRF2 to reduce the oxidative stress, which is so important, again, because it has to do with disease, aging, inflammation. So we have a skincare line, we have a hair care line, we've got brain health, we've got eye health, we've got so many different, we've got pet products, we've got lots of products. But again, they all have this NRF2 to reduce this oxidative stress that we create so much of. You know, so much so that there's actually a really cool app on your phone. If you've not looked at it or you're not familiar with it, it's called Think Dirty. And it's just an app that you download. Anything that you might have in your shower, whether it be body lotion or shampoo or body wash or whatever you're using these days, go ahead and plug it in on that app. You know, we're really excited. The products in this line, in particular, shampoo and the hair care, are really, really clean products. Most of them are a 1 or 2, but we have some 0s and we have some 3s. But like I said, most of them are super, super clean compared to, you know, what Bobby and I were using before I found out about this app. So, you know, that's a really cool app to be able to use as well. Okay, so the summary of these products, again, improves sleep, improves vitality, increases energy. I mean, better memory, focus, concentration. It really just makes you the best version of yourself. You're going to look much better, healthier hair, skin, and nails. And like I said, the big thing is, to have the blood of a 20-year-old and, just be so much healthier. But, that's a little bit of the backstory on the product and how cool the product is and unique, and really nobody knows about it. So we had to go through a little bit of science there, but the story with the company is equally exciting. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my husband come in here, and he's actually going to tell you a little bit about how the company came to be, because like I said, that story is equally as exciting. And so thank you for your time. Just 1 second, please.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So I was adding people all throughout that presentation. So if anybody missed any of that product information that April shared, please get back to the person who invited you. We are recording this, and we will be able to send you the recording of it. But, when you hear about something new like this, okay, where, the entire world is going to be thinking about activation when it comes to nutrition in years to come. It's just a complete change from the things that you and I grew up with. Okay, the things that we learned in school, the things that we learned, throughout life. And then all of a sudden there's new science. Okay, there's just changes. And I got to tell you, when I hear about this activation, I hear about extending life. I hear about reducing or eliminating disease. I hear that the DNA that we were born with is not necessarily what we're stuck with, that we have some control over those things. When you think about some of that April was talking about, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Okay, it's amazing. And what I want to share with you over the next couple of minutes is a little bit, about the company behind this. And, April and I got involved with this because we checked out the company. Okay, we heard about the science, but the company was fascinating. And everybody's got a starting point, and a lot of times it's funny or it's weird. And April told you about the scientist and how, he discovered, this discovery. It began back in the 60s, but from a business standpoint, it kind of began in 2005. And here's what happened. The word got out about what the product did. Now imagine I'm 61, okay? Imagine a 60-year-old, a 70-year-old, an 80-year-old hearing that by taking this little yellow pill, you can have the blood of a 20-year-old. I mean, just digest that for a second, okay? Sounds pretty far-fetched, right? Sounds pretty out there, okay? Well, in 2005, that's what ABC Primetime thought. And, if you've ever watched ABC Primetime, the investigative report, it's one of those gotcha shows. They're just trying to catch you in a scam, a lie, cheating. It's one of those kind of shows. So John Kiyunis, the investigative reporter, he went into the office, the lab, okay, where the doctors and the product was, and interviewed them and offered up testing his own blood. So here's what happened. They took John Kiyunis's blood, then he went on the product, okay, and he was supposed to come back in 30 days to get retested. Okay, that's the deal, okay, because we're allowed to say that the product will reduce oxidative stress in an individual by an average of 40% in 30 days. So John Kiyunis had his blood taken. He knew 40% in 30 days, but the guy didn't wait. Okay, he came back in 2 weeks. He didn't give it the 30 days. And lo and behold, get this. This is what I call a God story, okay? Only God can do something like this. his oxidative stress had been reduced by 45% in just 2 weeks. Who knows what the reduction would have been in 30 days, but he didn't give it 30 days. So here's what happened, folks. What was supposed to be a gotcha, investigative report kind of became all commercial. And if you've never seen the ABC Primetime Investigative Report, whoever sent you the link to this Zoom tonight, just send them a text right now saying, I want to see that video, okay? And they'll send you the link to it. And if not, just text me, I'll send you the link to it. But that led to us, business booming. It led to us being listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange, where we are today, listed under LFVN. Okay, we switched our marketing plan, and this was brilliant. Let's face it, nobody's heard of this company, nobody's heard of this product, and nobody's heard about activation, but we had the product on store shelves, and the sales reps didn't know what it did, didn't know how to explain it. So in 2009, about 11, 12 years ago, we decided this was the perfect product, okay, for direct sales or person-to-person marketing. And you say, why? Why better than GNC? Well, GNC, the little blue bottle sat on the shelf and nobody bought it. Okay, when somebody shares their results, everybody buys it. So there was the launch of a brand new industry called nutrigenomics. And we're the leaders in that industry. LifeVantage is the leaders in that industry. And if you're not sure what nutrigenomics is or what that market is, it's the way nutrients, vitamins, food, all those things interact with our genes. Those genes that we were born with, that we're supposed to be stuck with and can't change. Well, guess what? We can change them. Okay, matter of fact, we can change up to 80% of them for the better. So it's going to be a $17 billion industry by 2023. But right now, LifeVantage is doing between $230, $240 million a year in sales. But we just came back from our global conference 3 days ago. We are on target to become a $1 billion a year company over the next 3 to 5 years. And one of my favorite movies and actresses. Now, Julia Roberts played Erin Brockovich, but the real Erin Brockovich actually joined our board of directors 2 years ago. So that's just a little tidbit on the side. We've actually had a chance to meet her. She's pretty cool. But LifeVantage is a global company. It's our plan to take this science and this product all over the world. As a matter of fact, the Philippines market is opening in 2 weeks. Okay, two and a half weeks. So if you know anybody from the Philippines living here, or anybody in the Philippines that'd like to be first, or right smack in the beginning of a brand new market, hey, pick up the phone and give them a call, because that's what's happening. It's next on our list, and we have plans to go into about 50 more countries over the next 5 years. But let me share this with you, okay? Let me talk about the benefits of this business. And as I do, if you would do me a favor and just think about what has gone on in this country and all over the world, but we're talking mainly United States right now. What has gone on for the last 18 or 20 months with this whole COVID thing and pandemic and shutdowns and lockdowns and lockups and closures and everything that went on, okay? Just keep that in mind and listen to some of the benefits that this company and this business has to offer. Number one, we work from home. You know what that means? You can never be locked down, locked up, shut out, okay? We work from home or anywhere we happen to be. If we have Wi-Fi service, if our smartphone is working, we can work from anywhere. We do the business by socially sharing information, okay, by text or using an app on our phone. We run the business virtually. See, there's no hard overhead. There's no employees, there's no buildings, there's no insurances, there's no overhead. We run it virtually and we have a virtual office, okay? Startup costs are very minimal, no inventory requirements, and extremely low overhead. So think about those things And then on top of that, we all have our own personal online store in every market and every language for whatever country we happen to be in. And get this, the products are drop shipped directly to the end user or to the customer. So you and I don't have to touch it. We don't have to handle the money. We don't have to pack anything. It's kind of like dealing with Amazon. We are kind of like Amazon, you know, it just works the same way, but we get to go ka-ching every time it happens. So the benefits of this business and the flexibility are phenomenal, okay? Now, what are the earning possibilities? You know, this is kind of amazing too, because, you know, we have folks that get involved with us to just cover the cost of the product so that, you know, they're net zero, neutral, okay, and get involved for that. But April and I, a matter of fact, yesterday was our 4-year anniversary since joining the company. And we've met some people that have been in the company 10, 11, and some for 12 years that are making over $1 million. They're making 80, 90, 100,000 a month, over $1 million a year. So can you imagine, same business, same everything. Some people are covering the cost of their product. Some people are making 7 figures. And this is a new company that nobody's ever heard of, okay? But let me just talk about the 3 red arrows on the screen, okay? If you look at where it says Pro 3 and it says 600 a month, 626 a month, do you know anybody that would be interested in an extra 600, 700 a month? No, that's maybe half the rent on an apartment. That's maybe a car payment, okay? Do you know that just 50 people using the product that April was talking about earlier, that Tri-Synergizer, and your monthly income from that, okay, would be 600, 700 a month. So just 50 people. If you look at the next number where it says Pro 5, 3,100 a month. Now that's 35 to 40,000 a year. Do you know that is just a matter, okay, of having approximately 200 people using the product, or having 4 people on your team that have 50 customers? That's all that is. Now, a dual income house, that will probably get a spouse, one, to stay home if there's kids or homeschool or whatever, that $40,000. That probably would be enough to keep one home, because you'd be able to eliminate childcare on top of it. Okay. And then look at the third one, Pro 7. That's 13, 14,000 a month. Now you're getting into the 200,000 a year range. Hey, you know, that's doctor, lawyer, accountant, you know, engineer. That's professional money. Okay. And that's just a matter of, you know, doing what we call 100,000 a month in business, or having, let's see, that would be 1,000 customers, or having 5 people that have 200 customers. See, what's beautiful about this business is our reorder rate is the highest in the industry. Our subscription rate and people staying on it is 600% better than the average company out there, because these products work so good. So I can show you any number you want. I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going on out there. But, you know, the real question is this a good business opportunity? So, you know, there's some questions that you should ask whenever you're looking at any business opportunity, okay? Well, number one, these are unique patented products where we have no competition and we own the science. That's pretty good, okay? That's a good place to start, I can tell you that, where you got patents going into the 2030s, the year 2030 something, and they're always working on renewing them. Okay, we have a mass market. You know, everybody is a candidate for the product, and we have plans on going all over the world. Everybody gets benefits. They're super affordable. I mean, really affordable, okay? You'd be surprised at how affordable the products are. They're backed by reputable science. And one thing I'll tell you, all the studies that have been done that are listed on PubMed, we didn't pay $1 for any of them. Those institutions, whether it was Harvard or the American Heart Association or LSU or Ohio State, all those schools that studied it did it on their own dollar. Our products are consumable, and we use a subscription model that allows people to save money and not have to worry about going to the store to pick it up. It shows up at their door automatically. And if for any reason they need to cancel it, they can click a button and it gets canceled. It's that simple. But here's the real question. And what I'd like to ask you is, be honest with yourself, right? Can I do this? Okay, that's the real question. I don't know why anyone wouldn't, because who wouldn't want a new primary income, a secondary income, a third income? After all we all went through in the last 20 months, let's face it, we can't have too many different streams of income. But here's what it takes to do this, okay? You have to be able to use an app and text from your phone. Okay, so I'll be honest, you have to be able to do that, or willing to learn to do that. We do this business the way we check our email, check Facebook, and text. Okay, we do this business during the in-between times of our day. So it's not something that you set hours and hours and hours, set aside to do it. You do it in the nooks and crannies of the day, the same way we use our smartphones every day. And we have a very easy to follow ITT system. And all that means is we invite people that we care about. We share a tool with them, and that's either a video or a Zoom, like we're doing now. And then when there's questions, we bring a teammate in to answer questions. That's it. It's that simple. And we have regular meetings and trainings. Everything's done online. We have some in-person stuff, like we just came back from our global event where we had a few thousand people there. We have incentive trips and, of course, private training and team support. They just announced a new incentive trip. Okay, we just started qualifying for it just now, and that's to Croatia next year. So we have 9 months to qualify, and then an all expense paid trip for 2 to Croatia. So the company is pretty cool when it comes to that stuff. But I got one more thing to say, okay? And then we'll go back to all those pretty faces on the screen. The question that I'm asking, or I'm asking you to ask yourself, well, how can I be supportive? I like the person who invited me on. What can I do? Okay, what can I do for them? What can I do for myself? Well, simple. For starters, just activate your own health and be a customer. Okay, that's a good place to start. I mean, who in the world doesn't want to add years to their life and life to their years and take advantage of getting activated? Okay, there's no fees to join. The monthly subscriptions are about a 20% discount with free shipping. But if you like what you heard and you want to get involved while something's still new and in the beginning and something that's going to change the world, hey, you can join us in the business. We'd love to have you. We're looking to add distributors. We desperately need distributors. We're 12 years old. We're doing $250 million a year in sales, but we only got the number of distributors of about a 1-year-old company. We're the best kept secret out there. So if you have a desire to change people's lives, maybe build a legacy business that'll change your life that you can leave to your kids and grandkids, hey, this is the place. But what I'd like to ask you to do, is to be a source of referrals. See, we all know a lot of people over the last year and a half, going on 2 years now, that were affected by the pandemic and by COVID, whether it was from a health standpoint or a financial standpoint. And please consider being a source of referrals. And if not for yourself, okay, because referring people to yourself is great. That means you're in the business. But if not for yourself, then please be a source of referrals to the person who invited you on tonight, who cared enough about you to share this secret with you. And if you are interested in getting started, it's really simple. Just speak to the person who invited you onto this, and they'll send you a link to get yourself enrolled. I mean, it's really, really simple. But with that, okay, for April and I, and I'm sure everybody on, just, that invited you, would just like to say thank you. And we're very grateful for the time and support that you've showed and given this evening for the 35 minutes that we've been on. So what I'm going to do, I'd like to see everybody again. So I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to go back to the regular screen so we can see each other. There we are. Everybody wave. Okay. That was I would just like to leave this on all the time, but then I couldn't use the slides. You know, it's like, I would just prefer to talk to you and not do pictures. Okay. But people want to see the slides. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. There's a lot of guests on here tonight. Matter of fact, more than half of the people on are first-time guests. Would you please do me a favor and text the person or call the person that invited you on and just thank them for thinking of you? Okay, and whatever questions that, yeah, that's it, Siri, blow kisses, I like that. Okay, that's great. And just if you have any questions, you know, if you're ready to get on the product, if you want to get involved in the business, if you'd like to talk to me or April and get more questions answered, whatever it is that you have on your mind, just let us know and we'll take care of that for you. So anyway, it's been 35 minutes. We always try and keep it to 30. So I'm sorry, I'm a couple minutes over, but that's it for tonight. So please get back to the person who invited you and we'll go from there, okay? Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.